Hello, everyone. I'm really honored to be up here speaking with you. My connection with Ken lived 2 doors down from us at Tisco Lake from 1998 to 2015. So he was a 17-year neighbor of ours. And Ken was, I didn't know Ken before he moved there. He was probably the most positive, highest energy and social guy that I've ever met in my life, really, entirely. He had more friends than any man I've ever known. And I'm not a particularly social guy. My group of good friends you can count on one hand, and they're really good friends, and Ken was one of them. Ken was one of them. And I just want to talk about how we connected. How did this hugely super social, high energy guy and me, who were a different sort of guy, how do we connect? We really connected through our experiences at Tisco Lake together. We had common interests there. Ken and Linda arrived on our street in 1998, and they built their dream home with Jeff Warner. I don't know if Jeff is here, but Jeff helped them build their dream home, and typical Ken fashion, he becomes best of friends with Jeff Warner. I mean, this is Jeff builds his house. He's another friend. I mean, the guy was infectious the way he could build friendships. Within a year of moving to Tisco Lake, he basically became the political force of the neighborhood. It was unbelievable. Some of the things he accomplished for our neighborhood, we were in a very rural setting. I mean, we had a common well. We had 75 families all over the west side of the lake that shared this 60-year-old well, and it was a mess. We had a gravel road with potholes, and this was all private and shared responsibility. Within a year, Ken was in charge of everything. It was unbelievable. We'd do annual road repair. He'd be out grabbing people, volunteers to help crew. We'd need at least 4 or 6 of us to make any impact. He'd be dragging people off their decks, and the community well. What a pain in the neck that experience was. And Ken, multiple times during the summer, he'd be out there repairing leaks with other volunteer neighbors. He was just a take charge guy. I was a regular on the road repair, but I used to try to dodge them. The well repairs were beyond me. He'd be digging holes, and he'd be up to his waist, and it's just a mess. So he got sick of the well situation because it cost him so much time with the well repairs. So he single-handedly lobbied Aqua, our local water authority, for 8 years, and he brought public water to our street. And he was absolutely the lead guy to make that happen. And then when he got done with that, we all thanked him, and he said, "Well, you're welcome." He says, "I would never recommend it for anybody to go through this." But I'm happy we did it. And then he felt we needed other infrastructure improvements, so he brought cable TV and internet to the area. He was instrumental and supportive of getting our road paved. So he was unbelievable. He really became, shortly after he moved in the neighborhood, he became the mayor of Olanco Road. But the way Ken and I really bonded was through our water skiing. We were both fond of athletics and staying fit. And we had about 6 to 8 guys in a loosely knit group around the lake. And we'd ski together. And we'd ski together during the week, at various times during the day. And I want to call out some of those names. Ron Peckham, whose name you've heard already, Bill Walsh, John Kula, Tom Kilmer. I don't think any of them could make this trip. Dave Shenik, who lives out in Utah. John Camp, Dave Stathis. We all had a lot of fun together. But the most regular and consistent group, and the way I really connected with Ken was Ken, Ron Peckham, and I. Our 3 houses were all adjacent to each other in a row. And Ken, Ron, and I skied together 4 mornings a week 4 months of the year for 15 years. I mean, it was it was just a part of our lives. 5:45 on weekdays, 7:30 on Saturday and on Sunday mornings. And back in those days, we were all working very hard. We'd ski at 5:45 in the morning, and we'd all be at work by 9 a.m. It was just a routine. So there was a lot of time spent on the water with Ken, and maybe that's why I didn't experience some of the gas stories as recently. It could have been dangerous, I guess. But those early morning experiences made for, we built such a deep friendship and camaraderie, and because it was just routine. It was just routine. Every 4 days a week, we'd pick the days earlier in the weekdays, and we'd meet and we'd get in and out of it. And we'd always have a special experience, whether it was, we'd start our skiing before the sun came up, and we'd see these spectacular sunrises as we were skiing. Had eagles and ospreys soaring overhead on occasion, big fish jumping. Occasionally there'd be fog hanging over the lake, and we'd say, I don't know, it's a little dangerous. He goes, no, we're fine, we can go out. We'd ski in the fog, which was nuts. But always, of course, with Ken, we would be laughing multiple times during the course of the outing. It was, the outings lasted 45 minutes. We had it timed down with preparation and everything, 45 minutes to an hour. We would have some of the, it was a great way to start the morning because we'd start the morning with athleticism and camaraderie and laughter. And it was a magical way to start our days, and we developed very close bonds over the years. So Ken moved to Florida in 2015. He was so excited about retiring and taking his lovely wife Linda and moving together to the Villages. He was very excited about it, and he just talked about the Villages for 3 or 4 years leading up to the move, and it just sounds like it was the perfect retirement life for them, and I'm really glad he was able to get down here. And so we stayed in touch over the years. We would, for the last 5 years, since he's been down here, 7 years actually, we talked to each other a few times a year. Janet and I came down and visited one time. I know when he got sick in June, I called him just randomly, just one of our catch-up calls, and he told me he was sick. And then we talked every couple of weeks thereafter, and it was unbelievable. I'm sure many of you spoke with him during that period. And he was unbelievable attitude, unbelievable fighter during this last summer. I got a call from Ken, a farewell call from him just before he went into hospice, and I got to tell you, it was probably the deepest, most profound phone call I've ever received. We had an amazing farewell connection, and when I hung up that call, I said, you know what, that's just typical Ken. He's reaching out, and it was just great connection. So it was a great blessing to me in my life to know Ken Lieberman and call him a friend. I loved Ken. I love Ken Lieberman, but so do we all. That's why we're here. Thank you very much. Next up, I want to introduce Tim DeReicher. Did I get that right?